A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Roundtable. My name is Shegun Odunai. We come to you around this time of the day where we give you analysis of happenings in the socio-political realm, and we dissect major matters and give you the truth to you as always. I have two individuals with me as usual, a returnee and a regular here in the house. Together we'll be dissecting some of the matters we've brought to you this Thursday afternoon. Where do we begin from this afternoon? We'll be starting with the breaking news that came in yesterday that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had once again given Ogoni land a sweet revival after he conferred posthumously on four individuals the CON award, and he equally asked that they embrace peace and do away with disunity, confusion, and so on in that realm that has been embracing the people of Ogoni land. Remember that this is not an issue that started yesterday or today. This is an issue that started decades ago, and it got to the crescendo, got to the peak, got to the optimum when late Kesariwa and a couple of others were sent to death. They were murdered by the Nigerian government then, led by late General Sani Abacha. I'll be starting with Mr. Adekunle Aliu by my right today, and of course by my left I have Mr. Daniel Anyoto. A very good afternoon to you both. We will start very quickly.
It's a pleasure.
The decision of the president. Remember that when the president was dishing out
honors
recently, he pardoned Kesariwa and a couple of others. Some other persons came out and said, no, Mr. President, you shouldn't pardon them because they didn't commit any crime. Rather, you should absolve them completely of, whatever the Nigerian government has said was their crime. Some other group said, no, they should not even be pardoned because they were the ones who led the attack on certain other persons in Ogoni land. But now the president is saying, let bygones be bygones, let everything become a thing of the past, and let's forge ahead.
That's what we have to do. We have to forge ahead, move on, change things, change stories, realign, and be better. So the president has given them the posthumous award, and then the courage for peace. It's the best thing to do so that we remove all forms of divide and all forms of bad record. There will be bad record, but you now have to find a way to make it better and make life better after the bad. Because your bad record are your experiences that you want to use to be a better person. So whatever the record that everybody is having in that part of the town or that part of the country, all they need to do now is that the parents is, look, let's move forward. Let's forget about the past. Let's take the experiences to build and enjoy the future. It's a long time that we all have to spend with ourselves, either 100, 200, or 50 years. But we have to enjoy it. And we will enjoy it based on the fact that, look, we are forgiving ourselves. Former President Jonathan just said yesterday that he forgives, he doesn't bear a grudge against anybody. And these are the things we are saying. This government is saying, look, okay, no matter what the previous government have done, we don't want to bear grudges. We don't want the fight to continue. Let's settle it. Let's give honors to those who they think honor is due and accord them the recognition that is necessary. They have done that. So we expect to move on in peace. And if you see, economically, we are enjoying a boom in terms of crude oil production that is coming out from that part of the country. The government is doing a cleanup too in that part of the country because there is peace. So if there is no peace, we can't enjoy the output of oil we are getting. We're talking about 2 million barrels per day. We are getting there. And that's the oil, that's the goods that lay the golden egg. So if we can maintain that resource and increase our earning, it's a plus for the country. So the president need to placate them, and they also need to be placated. As in, they also need to show that, look, we are for the government, we are working with the government, and we want to grow the country. It's a good one. We congratulate them, though they are not alive, but the families who enjoy that honor, and we wish the country progress from that place.
The president got a report from the Ogoni Consultations Committee, and nobody's laying anything to bear. Rather, he decided to announce posthumous awards to, 4 individuals, like I said, Theophilus Orage, Samuel Orage, Edward Kobani, and Albert Bade. And he's saying let bygones be bygones. If we don't address some matters and say, okay, it has happened in the past, but A did this, B did this, and we make the truth come bare, can we forgive without coming to any conclusion, especially on matters like this?
I think that's very, very important, and thank you for that question, because, of course, while you were discussing, I was just ruminating my mind about what's really and what was actually happening what got us to this point. We really need to look at, okay, where were we coming from, where are we now, and for us to be able to determine where we're going, really. We understand very well that, of course, this issue of Ogoni has been a kind of a disturbing issue within the country. We know how in 1990s, how, of course, the movement, that the movement of the Ogoni people, Masop, had to make some moves towards ensuring, and that was led by the famous writer Kensawiwa, and we saw how the movement took turn to ensure that, yes, there is a call and a charge and an advocate to ensure that they have the Ogoni people freed, they have their freedom, and issue of they're able to manage their resources within themselves. And of course, we know how all these things played out. Of course, this also tells us how, or shows us, or interprets to us what happens when people are demanding for their rights in one level or the other. So what led to this is, of course, the call for they want to have their freedom to manage their resources. And we have seen these things repeat itself over and over again. So we just need to now know, yes, this is what has happened. The president has honored them. It's a good one, and it is commendable. But some persons, like you said, they're seeing it from the angle of, oh, should we rather be saying we are pardoning them, or should we be saying, oh, they are not being pardoned? What we should have is to say that we remove them from the issue, exclude them from the issue entirely. So whatsoever thing that is being demanded, we should know that there are parties in this matter. And what the parties demanded, what their movement was meant for, or whatsoever their involvement in the issue, is supposed to be addressed and made public. Even when we are talking about forgiveness, a lot of persons have lost their life. A lot of persons have lost their parents in the course of talking about this Ogoni. Who are the people that led to the death of social person? Who are the people that said, okay, that took a part that will, of course, that is haunting the country, that is haunting that particular community, that is haunting that area? Who are the people? And these things are the things we need to address. If we don't address it, we may not actually be doing much as expected. And one of the things that is expected, like I said, is addressing it. And we should know that, yes, the president has been able to say this honor, which, like I said, is commendable of the president. We have seen situations where some leaders will not even look towards that direction. But the president has come forward and said, yes, let's honor these people, let's do this thing. So it's very important. Then also, how far have we gone since we experienced this? How far is the Ogoni land as at this present? We have gone so many years. We are talking about 1990s till now.
This was where I was coming to.
Yeah.
I'll allow you, answer the question on this particular topic before I move it to Mr. Aliu now. Now, the Ogoni people have always asked for a cleanup, proper cleanup. We've had Ogoni cleanups, promises and all of that. But like, when do we truly give, not just even the Ogoni people now, but the entire Niger Delta, the facelift that they truly deserve, despite all the environmental problems and challenges that they've gone through over the years?
I think that's where the government also come on board. And of course, we would see that successive government has taken a step to ensure that they carry out make one effort in ensuring they do that. First was in 2016, where the government set up I can't remember the name now, a kind of a program to ensure that they have a cleanup in Ogoni land in 2016. And we have also seen where, of course, based on the process of ensuring that they have a review in the management and the control of resources, the government started the aspect of establishing various commissions, like we have the Southeast and we have the South Commission with that aspect, which is the Niger Delta Development Commission. But again, the reality remains that this is not only about government. This is not only to be centered on the government. The people themselves have to be ready to ensure that they want that freedom. Because we have seen reports, we have seen in different instances where the people that are within this region are also not doing what they are supposed to do to ensure that region. For instance, you see the Niger Delta Development Commission. The people that are heading this commission are not from the north. They are not from the southeast. They are from the south. And you still see situations and complaints that there are some projects that are abandoned. There are some things that are abandoned. And who is to be blamed? So the reality is that it's not just about government. We also need to understand that we have to, as a people, to have that conscious mind to ensure that we have that freedom and freedom in totality. And how will they come? We don't want to split as a country. We don't pray for Nigeria to split. But the resources have been channeled and has been given to you, to your commission to handle. Your people, hold them responsible. Your governors within that region, how well are they ensuring that they utilize the resources for the development of that region? I want to see a country where each region will fight, consciously fight to ensure that they have development, and begin to see region to region, they begin to fight and they begin to have competition on development. So how far are we doing these things? Sometimes we mention the president, we say, oh, President Tinubu, but how far are we ensuring that within ourselves, we are ensuring that the people, we do the things in terms of development within our region? I have seen reports, even from the issue of Niger Delta Development, a list of projects that were abandoned under the administration of a particular person, that is a senator and whatever. So we have to also ensure that we do the needful. So yes, the president has come, honored these people. Fine, fantastic, well done. But the people of Niger Delta, the people of Ogoni land must have that consciousness to ensure that they are truly cleaned. They are truly cleaned. Cleaned not only in terms of oil spillage, cleaned in the aspect of attitude of people, their leaders. Their leaders must also ensure that there is that consciousness. They must come together and say, oh yes, we want this place to be developed. You talked about electricity. You talked about school. You talked about the cleanup in terms of the oil spillage. These persons have to ensure that they put things right. And this person I mentioned, I mean the leaders and the people there. Because you know, for sure, while even the leaders are trying to make some efforts, the people are also compromising. You see people compromising what they are supposed to do. They don't do it. So we have to consciously as a people be ready to say, yes, we want change, but the change must begin with us.
All right, some persons are probably wondering, what are they discussing? What is the Ogoni cleanup? I mean, who are the Ogoni 4? Who are the Ogoni 9? Who is Kensarewa? Because it's an old new generation from certain individuals who used to exist back then. But hey, quick one. These 4 individuals that were conferred awards yesterday by the president were elders in the 90s in Ogoni land. They were having a meeting somewhere where a group came upon them and sent them to the other world, lynched them, and they murdered these individuals I'm talking about. Like I said, their names again: Albert Bade, Edward Kobani, Theophilus Orage, and Samuel Orage. This was what led to the arrest of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the famous 9. Like they eventually became, and they were tried. There were calls made by the international community and a couple of other non-popular persons asking that, no, please just settle this thing amicably. But hey, the federal government of Nigeria of the time eventually sent them to death, and they equally got murdered. So for those that were accused of murdering in the other persons, the accusers and the accused, everybody involved eventually got sent to the other realm, and the president has decided, hey, let's confer us on these leaders of that time. And then earlier he pardoned those that were accused of leading that particular movement that led to them being lynched and all of that. So hey, a quick summary for you guys who are probably wondering what we are talking about at the moment. Mr. Aliu, just before we leave this topic and move on to the next, is there a possibility of the people inside, talking about the people in Niger Delta themselves, orchestrating the evil against their own people?
Yeah, you say something about brothers killing brothers. Dog eat dogs. That's what the world is all about sometimes. But this is what we're saying. For the honor given to both sides is to show that, look, you can have peace. This discussion can lead to progress. Yes, we'll make mistakes. Ukraine, Russia, they are brothers and sisters. Neighbors. One used to be one time USSR, and now they are killing themselves. For what? The gains and gains and gains and gains that sometimes make some countries to be selfish. So these are the things we're saying. But having said that, the mistake has been done. The killing has been done. The lynching has been done. But now let's move forward so we can work on ourselves and guide ourselves and work via the constitution of the country so that these things do not happen again. Why is the president? This is now we are saying it. We are going back into history. Saying, what exactly happened? So if you go back into history and look at the books and study, you say, oh, you will know that okay, this is what really happened. This is what really happened. So from there, you begin to correct yourself. This is one of the reasons why we have the PIA, the Petroleum Industrial Act, working today. This is why we are having the hydrocarbon cleanup project for the cleaning of Ogoni. This is why we have the host community project, because some people decide to put their neck and their head in the battle to get things done for the people. Now we are saying let's move forward. The battle has been won. Victory is here. Let's do what is right for the people. Let's do what is right for the nation. Let's do what will bring us to a better footing as a people, as a country. So it's a fair one. History doesn't want to forget them. That's why we are seeing this recurrent story about these people and their events, and the honors is also coming, because history, if you know, Pati Nadeko was part of those who make use of these Kensarewa people and the others to bring down the government of the dictator Abacha there.
Is that
well, I'm just telling you, it's not.
It's a report.
These are reports we read here.
Yeah, no,
so
confirmed.
So you will know that the Nadeko, they were all kind of working hand in hand, because what the Sarewatu were saying they were saying, look, we don't want the military
groups.
Yeah, we don't want this. It was all against the military rule. So it was from that. I think there was a misconception. Probably there was a misconception that the military government then was using one fashion against the other, and they got angry among themselves. And I'm just giving you a conspiracy theory. I'm not that sure. But for movement, for growth, these things are coming so that we can align and move forward for the unborn children, for the nation to grow better. That's what I think is happening.
All right, we have to move on from that topic now. It's important to tell you that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has said from the 1st of January 2025 up until the 20th of September 2025, 232 people have died in Nigeria because of flood. That means out of the 200 million Nigerian people, of course, that exist, this year alone, as at now, not counting from 20th up until today, the 25th, we don't know what the figures have added to that. But from the timeline that NEMA released, 232 people have been killed from flood in Nigeria. Let's just attack that point very quickly before we even go deep into the other parts of the figures they released. If it's not an emergency, if it's not a natural disaster, why should anybody be dying as a result of flood that we know will happen next year, that we know will happen 2 years to come, that we know will happen in 2028, 2029? Why is anybody dying as a result of flood? Is that not an indictment on we as a people?
Yes, sir. We also have to consider which area in terms of the places where we have this flooding. When we look at the ratio you're talking about, majority of them from the northern part, and over again, we have had situations where the authorities had mentioned that these persons should leave. You that you are living in a flood-prone area, relocate. Leave those places to somewhere that is, of course, that is not. That is it. That's it. So, listen.
Where am I going?
The thing is, you cannot say because you don't have where you are going, now go and die. That is not having a place you are going is not a justification for death to come. And you know the period when this flooding is climax. So you have to understand that, okay, yes, between so time and so time, there's tendency that we are going to experience flooding. Hello, yes sir, yes ma'am. Pack yourself and your family and leave the place so that you will be safe, at least for that main time, before you can now come back when it's over. It's possible. Then you begin to have a long-term plan of saying, okay, I want to even finally leave this place. We know how we plan, however, the regions that are affected, we also know what happens in the area of growth. They have exponential growth level. The rate of giving birth is high when you look at these areas. When you look at where I saw somebody somewhere living under a bridge. The guy told me is I don't want to mention a tribe, but now he told me he has 3 wives and the children.
3 wives.
Yeah,
for 3 wives,
and as I think 16, if I'm correct, 16 children
Just 16.
living under bridge.
Wow.
Hello.
All right.
Hello. They are all living under bridge. So the reality is,
Metro reporter, you see
so
this,
no, we see boy.
Well, did you eventually did you see the children? Or
Somebody I can't ascribe children to myself.
no.
So what I'm saying is that it can't possibly
I
have
want to be sure that he's not being mendacious.
Exactly.
No.
He's not
We
exaggerating.
we have seen public interviews. Go online, just go online. You will see interviews of persons who, of course, you see them and their children.
That family, this is one you're talking about, a small family.
It's even small.
People are 42.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. We see them. This is not about, it's fact that it exists.
So the man and his wives and his children live under the
bridge. Now, just imagine if that bridge is located. No, I can't. No, that's their own personal business.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know the work that most of these persons do. Really, we have some of them. Even not too far from our office, we have a lot of them on that specific bridge. Now, what am I saying in essence is that we know these things happen. Now, just imagine if that bridge is located where there is flooding. Agidi will not allow them. If there's a word, Agidi is stubbornness. Will not allow them to leave that place. Even when the government goes and disperse them, that go back to your state. They will come back. They will come back. Such effort have been taken in time past. Now, just imagine if that location is, how well are we sensitizing our people? And this now comes to the issue of education. The level of education has to be looked into. How well can we educate our people? If they are Nigerians, they should be educated. If it is for us to make education within this region free, please do.
Which region? Every region.
Every region. Please do.
Most of maybe the northern region. Maybe that's what
because if I'm educated, if I'm educated, because I'm educated now, I know that for me to have a quality life is a necessity and is important. And for me to give those abroad to the world a quality life is very important. Sacrosanct. So for me to do that, first thing I need to know is that I have to provide a shelter over their head because I'm educated. But if I'm not educated, I will feel that it's not my responsibility. I can go and sleep inside a car and put them under the bridge. So when the education aspect is settled, then we will have less issues and less worry. If we are going to reduce it, let's address these issues. Let's make sure that they are well educated. Let's make sure they understand the fact and the importance of having a life, a quality life, living a quality life. And so these things have to be addressed. Then when we are talking about also the issue of these regions too, then the government has to map out areas that are not livable. The government has a very large extent they need to work in that area. They have to map out areas that are not livable. Areas that cannot be used for farming. Map them out. Barricade them. Do the necessary border and ensure that people don't live beyond that area. Let us have the areas that you mapped that is livable, that people can live. After all, God bless you. And we have a situation whereby you pay for grass cutting. If you can pay for grass cutting for people to clear a particular area for a particular project, then pay for barricading a particular section of the country and say this place people can't live there, and whosoever is living there, please leave. Then we should also be, so the government also have a role to play, as well as we the people we have a role to play.
All right, you made mention of statistics and you made mention of countries. I'll give you the facts as released by NEMA. NEMA said that 339,658 Nigerian people have recorded some form of losses in these floods that have happened this year, 2025. NEMA equally says 681 Nigerians sustained various degrees of injuries. Now, what states do we have the, analysis of the Nigerian people who have died from flood this year, 2025? Niger State is leading with 163 fatalities, followed very closely. Depends on what you call very close. It's not that close. Adamawa, 59 persons have lost their lives as a result of flood this year, 2025. Followed by Taraba with 5. Followed by Yobe with 2. Followed by Borno, Gombe, and Jigawa, 1 each. In total, we have 232 people who have died as a result of flood in Nigeria 2025. We've had 115 individuals who have been announced to have been declared missing as a result of flood. So perhaps a flood happened in a particular area and they are looking for one person or the other. In the year 2025, we had 115. 115. Mr. Liu, do you agree with the point that Mr. Den was talking about earlier about the red zone thing, about government doing more? Because Nigerians,
as much as that is part of it. So we also have to tell ourselves the truth too, which is like, this is our natural disaster, they happen. But if we can do a holistic study, I think some of the things we experience, we can defend ourselves, we can mitigate against them. Take for instance when they opened the dam in the neighboring country and it went through Borno and ravaged the whole of Borno like that, and people lost property.
The dam that fell. I think last year or so.
So we always know that they will open that dam in that country.
And the 1 year in Ogun State.
And the water level will increase. So what are we doing to build a place that's going into some place? So you people here leave. If you don't want them early, you can't save life. And if maybe they are sleeping at night and they wake up in the morning, the water level is high. These people will die if they can't swim. So we need such warning. And as government also is calling for warning, people also need to adhere. If they say leave, please do leave. Because you don't even know, if you can't swim, even if you can swim, the water current is high, to sweep you away. There's this one that I saw on Twitter, I don't know how factual it is. Somebody said a flood swept a woman away in Lagos.
Talking about Lagos, I was just coming there now. It will interest you, the viewer, to know that the most impacted state by flood is Lagos. With 57,000, these stats I'm reading are from NEMA, not from me, not from from anywhere. From NEMA. 57,051 people have been affected in Lagos. Lagos is the #1 state where flood has affected the citizens the most. And in the same Lagos, 3,680 persons were displaced. In Lagos, 3,244 houses have been damaged. In Lagos, you know what makes it more interesting is that it's not just in the low-cost areas, even the highbrow
elites
areas.
Of the elites.
This week alone, if you're on social media, you'd have seen pictures of cars damaged, and people have been joking, saying that Ladipo is where the people take cars to fix that. Ladipo will have a lot of visitors this week. Of course, remember that the Lagos commissioner has equally apologized on social media, saying
Lagos is even doing well. We're trying to open up the waterway. Followed
by Adamawa, where 57,890 persons have been affected, 23,077 persons have been displaced, 438 persons have been injured, and 59 killed, with over 9,000 farmlands destroyed. Guess where is next? Akwa Ibom, where 46,233 persons have been affected, 40,140 have been displaced, with over 17,000 homes and farmlands damaged. So you can see the spread from the south to the east to the north. It's a Nigerian problem. What is the Nigerian solution? It must be all encompassing.
It was a holistic.
What do we do to bring a holistic solution to this? This is a major crisis.
I think if I would say something about that, we really need to understand, because I always like to look at issues from the point of view of where is this coming from. We need to understand the reasons why these things are like that and what is the source of this. Let's not forget that some of these states that we are speaking about, especially states that are not within that core area where we are talking about issue of dam and all that are affected, like Lagos, and you talk about Cross River. Some of these states, especially Lagos, they are living on top of water. Lagos doesn't have land. They are living on water. Yes, that is my own conclusion. They are living on top of water. And why did I say they are living on top of water?
Close to water.
Which close?
We live with water.
No. I would argue you to they are living on top of water, and I will tell you why. Go to a major of some of these areas, you will discover that either they have pushed the water off at a particular time from where it should be, and where you now have them on the landscape.
Several times that we just explain flash flood.
Yes,
like
so flash. Well,
and goes.
Go there, you discover that some of them, the kind of building they built on, they had a kind of a leveled concrete, and under it is actually water. Now, most of this water get polluted, and that's why some of them they can't have sock away. When they put, you heard what is there? Who spoke that? They were having sheets, that they are drinking sheets. Water. So if not that, the water gets easily contaminated because so they are living on top of water. Look at the case of the Cross River. They also have these issues of water here and there. So Niger, that you don't even talk about the south. It goes to Warri. I've lived there. You know, of course, they have issues, water around. So the basic fact is that you know these areas are water prone, and the major thing to do is to say you make provisions to lift them when during the process of planning. But we did not have that process of planning. And I remember talking to a commissioner in Lagos the other time, and he said they gave a benchmark towards the level of your foundation, the level that you should have your foundation if you are building. If you know the area that you have land is a water prone area, first do a thorough investigation to ensure that what is the level at the peakest, at the highest time that usually have erosion in this area, what is the level of the water in the area. So when you now understand that, you will know now that you have to increase the foundation level of that house. Even when the government tells you that don't go beyond 3 feet, your investigation tells you that whenever there is rain or there is anything in this area, there's always an erosion that gets to 6 feet. My brother, you need to know that your foundation has to go to 8 feet, 9 feet.
So that
you go above it, so that you build. God bless you.
All right, we have to move on very quickly to the last topic, and this is important for a lot of Nigerians of you that work with the government. This Secretary of the Federal Government announced earlier today that effective from the 6th of October 2025, all ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as higher institutions in Nigeria, whether civilian, military, private, or public, are to commence the implementation of an intensive year structured verification of academic credentials of all staff, intending staff through the National Credential Verification Service of the NERD program, and thereafter ensure compliance for each recruitment by obtaining instant NCVS. What does this mean? It means that from the 6th of October, the Nigerian government is going to scrutinize certificates that you tender. They will scrutinize and monitor and ensure that your certificates are not fake but original. I don't know where you work, but where I work, if you submit your certificate, it will be confirmed that XYZ person schooled here, indeed graduated so year, resumed so year, and has so degree. Am I right or wrong, sir?
Yes, you're very correct.
So the federal government, I should start with Mr. The federal government of Nigeria is about to implement this. You remember, we have had quite a couple of cases of individuals with fake certificates. And then I wonder, why should we even have a fake certificate in the first place?
So this is the thing. It's human nature to build defense and to break defense. So we are trying to build more defense. Because it looks as a lot of people are. There's a case now of some ex-policemen not appearing in court today because they falsified their age, they falsified their documents, all because at one point in time the eyes was at the knee, but at this level I think the eyes back at this place where it should be, forehead. So it's seen properly. Look, this thing has gone too long. We want to weed the system. We want to correct the system. So that's why the government is doing this, because you find out that in many civil service, in many government sector, a lot of people are in their job with fake certificates because they were able to bribe or to beg somebody or to do something. They just put those things in and nobody questioned them. Take for instance like maybe the Nigerian police force or the Nigerian army and some who don't do this thorough scrutiny of certificate. They just submit and they look at it, they look at the logo. It looks alike it's okay with the one, and they pass it and they employ you and you're growing and the rank and you're submitting fake certificate, you get to a director level. And they now discover that all the certificate you tender is fake. You are in the federal government service. So now I think the government has spoken out, look, let's check all our results. Let's check all of us. Let's see who are those with. You can imagine the managing director having a fake
results.
There's a lot of cases like that. There is a case of another, is it a DG that is being dragged or a VC that is being dragged over such. A lot of them do it.
Fake PhDs. One of our editors now wrote an investigative piece a couple of years ago, and it was on somebody working in a government agency. Was it a government agency? No. A university. I think it was a university with a fake. The person had a fake PhD
because somebody didn't do his proper job to scrutinize those things. So people do these things. But now the government is saying, no, we are going to check. Even in the advanced countries, don't they do fake passport? It's just like we need to put a system in place. Look, if you want to join this civil service, the federal government job, if you have a fake certificate, we'll detect it. So I think government has woken up to the fact that they want to start to detect those who have such certificate and they weed them out of the system. I think it's a good one.
You know, there was a popular story that I think trended last year of a journalist who went I mean,
undercover to
in Benin Republic.
Certificating. I can't remember how many weeks or how many months now. Came enrolled for NYSC. That person could have started working. You remember the policies that came out of. I mean, that's
investigation. Act. Yes.
But now, I mean, how is the federal government of Nigeria just waking up to making such a decision? I don't think anybody in the private sector will use. Let me not speak for the entire private sector, but I know the private sector will do a right check and know that this person.
I still have an issue with that. It's not even all the private sector too that will do that. Some wouldn't, some will, some don't care. If you present a certificate and it looks okay, put it in the file. How many of them will want to do that appropriate? It's very few. But if we can cleanse our system by ourselves and say, look, if we have a body, even with the advanced country, I want to try and say, no, if we have a good body that can check it for you and you see it. But again, even in advanced star, you see those frauds, they are still being done. So can you truly remove it? Because man build defense and create defense.
I think
you build and break defense.
I think we should give it up for the federal government, especially the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa. Yes, he's really doing well, and he has his flowers. And so, why am I saying that? Because for him to have had that mindset to come up with the national credential verification scheme, it's a good one, and it's a good productive one, because for us as people, you can never imagine the level at which people can go, and this will end that processes. And of course, it's a message to everybody to begin to get ready, to get set, that time where you have people holding fake certificates. You can imagine me spending 4 years in a university, studying through the 4 years, and somebody somewhere carries the same certificates in just 2 hours. Fake. After spending, while somebody else will spend 4 years. Oh no, that is not fair. You have somebody that has spent 4-5 years thereabout to obtain his master's degree, whereas somebody somewhere is having a PhD, got his PhD in just 2 hours. And somebody will have to spend about 7, 8, 10 years to get his PhD. So you can imagine the difference. So I think it's the best thing that the federal government has done, and all Nigerians should support this initiative. Let us have that verification, and let us verify all the certificates of Nigerians so that we know those that are authentic.
So you know why this is there was a time the government allowed age verification.
The government
yeah. You want to join the army, you are